great video today. Very excited. Got all my X-Men books graded finally. Not all of them, but 1 through 10 are done being graded. So what that means is they were encapsulated. You send them to a company. They grade it. They make sure it's all original, all that stuff, and it keeps it from being tore up. So pretty neat. If you're serious about collecting comic books and you got some vintage stuff, I'd recommend doing that. So I was going to show off the first 10, I guess. Show off's the thing. Whatever you do, it's like, here's my collection, all right? I'm not going to start at 10 and go down to 1. We'll just start at 1 and go through them. I have number 1 through 544. I don't have all the annuals, but as far as the X-Men original Uncanny run from 1963, I have all the numbered issues, and I will be showing you the first 10 today. Started collecting in 91, 92, when my stepdad gave me a stack of his old comics. I fell in love with the X-Men. It was number 116, Savage Land. From there, it was just started collecting. So that was a long time ago. So this is a 30-year collecting adventure for me. But done. Here's my first 10. Well, hopefully y'all like the video and I'll make more. If not, then I made this for myself, and that's cool too. Number 1, X-Men number 1. Awesome. September of 1963 this came out. This is a unicorn of a book. It's probably my favorite comic ever made. It's definitely my favorite in my collection. What makes this a unicorn? Well, it's the first appearance of Angel, Beast, Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman, Magneto, and Professor X. All of them except for Professor X are on the cover, and all of them are in an action pose. Also, it was written by Stan Lee. Also, it was illustrated by Jack Kirby. So Jack Kirby, so awesome. I mean, what more can you say? Like, Jack Kirby's kind of the dude as far as all Marvel creations. One of the best artists of all time in all of comic book history. Stan Lee, do I have to say anything about him? Pretty awesome. Everything about this book is what you collect comic books for. It is a unicorn of a book. There's so many people that want it for good reason. Point 5, let's talk about this one's grade. It is missing page 12 completely. It's just been cut out. Somebody took it out. Nothing I can do about it. It's an advertisement for Amazing Spider-Man number 4. And on the back side of it, it's like some lizard. You can cut his tail off and it grows back. It's like a toy thing that you can send off for. It's just an ad page. Doesn't affect the story, but it's considered incomplete. Point 5. I could have got a green label on this. I guess it would probably get like a 3.5 or a 3.0, but who cares? I'm just going to have it as 0.5 and be happy with it. I couldn't afford it if it was a 3.5 or a 4.0. Like, I just couldn't afford an X-Men number 1 that high, but I got a lot of help getting this book, and I'm very, very happy and very fortunate to have it. And it's still pretty valuable even at that low grade, but it's in my collection, so I'm super, super happy to have that. X-Men number 2. So this was November of 1963. So they were bi-monthly. So every other month they would come out with a new comic back then. First appearance of the Vanisher. Not the Vanisher from Deadpool 2 that Brad Pitt played for like, what, 45 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't think it's that guy. It just happened to be named the Vanisher and happened to be in pseudo X-Men universe. Vanisher is not a big bad guy for X-Men. This is more valuable because it's the second appearance of all the X-Men. Still awesome to have. What more can I say? It's awesome. let's talk about this comic book. If you notice something a little weird about it, on 2, it doesn't say November above it, which it should if it was an American copy. This is a UK price variance. So it's a variant of the comic book, not an edition. An edition means it was printed in England and it's a UK edition. This is a UK price variant, printed in the United States on the same machines with the same ink, on the same paper as all the American releases. But if my research serves me right, I believe they are printed first as kind of a test run, and they don't put dates on them because they're going to go overseas. Back then it took a while. It wasn't like now where it can be overnighted. It took a while, so they didn't know what date to put on there, so they just didn't put any. Also, if you look over here, it says 9 with a lowercase d. That meant pence, like 6 pence and all that. 9 pence is what this called, instead of 12 cents over here. So that's how they sold in the UK. The inside of this book is no different. It's only the cover that changes, and it's just right there, and they don't put the date here, or the month. That's it. Other than that, it's the same. I don't know where you stand on UK price variants. We're not going to talk about a whole lot. I'm just going to mention it. It's rare. They're pretty rare. How rare? There's a thing called a Mark Jewelers variant that came out. Comics from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s will have this cardboard order form for like rings and stuff. And only like 5% of those comics printed back then have those. And they were only around military bases and stuff. Those are considered more valuable because they're rare. 2% of these are UK price variants. Only 2%. Sometimes people say less than 2%. So that's pretty rare. I don't know if that's going to eventually make these worth a lot more. I doubt this one just because it's, a purple labeler. Let's talk about that. Somebody has trimmed this book. Purple label means it's been restored. Well, this hasn't been restored. It's just been modified, but they're going to call it restored. On the bottom here, somebody took scissors to try to trim it a little bit. These kind of get frayed on the edges. Somebody trimmed the top and bottom. That's what it says. Apparent restored, top and bottom edge trimmed. Could have fooled me, but whatever. If you look closely, you can see some stuff on the bottom. Don't care about it. Still really happy to have it. Cool with the UK price variants. Hopefully one day those will be worth more. Right now you can get UK price variants slightly cheaper. I think that's going to change in the future, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Speaking of UK price variants, number 3. I got this from the same guy that I got that from. Same thing, no date here. This is number 3 from January 1964. UK price variant, graded 6.5, so pretty decent grade there. Happy with that. First appearance of the Blob. How cool is that? I love the Blob. He is a huge, literally huge X-Men baddie, but he's also just in a bunch of X-Men stories. He was in the animated show. It's the Blob. I mean, come on, he's awesome. First appearance. It's also the 3rd appearance of X-Men. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. It doesn't even say that on here, but it is the 3rd appearance of X-Men. So, yeah, pretty awesome. Note the 9D and the no date, or no month. UK price variant. X-Men number 4, huge book. This is the other kind of Grail type book in my collection for X-Men. The reason is it's multiple people's first appearance, including Scarlet Witch. That's right, Wanda from WandaVision, Wanda Maximoff. Piotr Maximoff, that's Quicksilver. It's his first appearance also. Also Toad, his first appearance, and Mastermind's first appearance, who has a huge role in the Phoenix Saga. So, yeah. Also, 2nd appearance of Magneto. It's only his 2nd book he ever appeared in. Are these 2 his son and daughter? It depends on what story you want to follow, but kind of cool. Kind of cool to think about. This one is a purple label. This one, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a crease here. Anytime you have that, that's a dead giveaway that if you're reading it and it's read normal, it could have never done that unless somebody glued some of this. So if it had been taped, it would probably have been fine. It would have just got a real low grade, probably the same grade, but it would have, been taped, and they would allow that. Sometimes they allow tape to get past, but they don't allow glue, and this has glue on it. Now I could pay somebody to take that glue off. At that point, I mean, it's a 1.8. It's not going to change the value much, so I'm just going to leave it like it is. Still very happy to have this in the collection. It displays really nice. Look at that cover, freaking awesome. So, yeah. What more to say? Just awesome. So cool. Number 5. This was my favorite. My first of my vintage X-Men collection. This was the first Stanley Jack Kirby book of X-Men that I got. Very, very cool to have this. 5.5 continues the story of that one. So this is Magneto's third appearance. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants' second appearance, which is, like I said, Toad, Mastermind, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. Pretty cool book. I love the story. It continues from that last one. Not much more to say. What's the date on this? May of 1964. Really cool. So there you go. Moving right along to X-Men number 6. This is a 2.5. This is not in the greatest shape. It's got some water damage here. There's some water damage along the top of the book, but I still had a clean and press as good as they could do it. It's just not much you could do. Somebody also wrote their name John, but it's not like they're faking an autograph. Somebody named John owned this book and put their name on it, so they didn't even count off for it. So they didn't even mention it, but they could have, but I'm glad they didn't. But it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me. Yeah, so, I mean, kind of a big deal that's got Namor, Submariners in there, which at one point, maybe still, they say that he's the first mutant or something like that. I don't know exactly how you want to look at that, but sure, it's kind of a big deal in a mutant book, in the X-Men book. So, yeah, Namor. It's also got the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in there, and this is the first time on the cover that Scarlet Witch is actually red. If you notice on these, she's green, and on this one, she is green. So, only on the cover. In the book, I believe she's red, but she is red here. So that's kind of cool. They get that right. There was something else too. Oh yes. So if you look at this little thing in the corner here, all 1 through 4 have this, which is Iceman, Jean Grey, and Cyclops looking that way. On 5, they switch over to this one, which is Beast, Iceman, and Cyclops. And then on 6, they went back to this for one issue. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but when you go to issue 7, it's back to the other one, and they stay here for the rest of them. So Marvel did weird stuff back then. Number 7, 5.5, pretty good grade. What else? What is the thing with this? Okay, second appearance of the Blob. It's also a continuation with Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. There she is in red again, Scarlet Witch. Here it is. First appearance of Cerebro, not even mentioned. What up, CGC? Why wouldn't you say that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Cerebro is kind of a big thing. This is Cerebro's first appearance. Yeah, and there's no mention of it. It just says second appearance of the Blob, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Mastermind, and Toad appearance. Nothing about Cerebro's first appearance. I know Cerebro's not like a character, but it's kind of a big thing in X-Men lore. Really clean copy though, pretty happy with it. 5.5, not going to complain. Alright, number 8, November of 1964. This is first appearance of Eunice the Untouchable. He's not a super popular bad guy for X-Men. He has a force field around him. Kind of a cool story. Not a great bad guy. Doesn't really show up much in other X-Men stories or anything. But yeah, it's a cool book to have. First appearance of Eunice the Untouchable, and there's a Mastermind appearance. And there's a Beast pinup, so a pinup like a picture of Beast that you could put on your wall that somebody didn't cut out of here, which is good for me. Glad somebody didn't cut that out. There's the back, there's the front. Pretty good, 6.5. I'm happy with that. White pages. So I will say this is my favorite picture of the vintage Beast is on the cover of this one. Something about his feet, his hands. Jack Kirby had a way of drawing Beast feet and hand that nobody really duplicates, and this is a great example of that. Just like the Thing, like nobody can draw the Thing like Jack Kirby. Nobody can draw Beast like Jack Kirby, especially his hands, his feet. Not much more to say about it. Still a really cool book. I kind of like that it's white. Reminds me of the X-Men #1 cover kind of. Pretty neat there. All right, number 9. Oh, something's different with this. That's right, CBCS. This is a different company than CGC. Oddly enough, I prefer CBCS. They're based in Dallas instead of Florida. I'm a Texas guy, so there's that. I do like their cases a little better. They don't tend to show Newton rings as much. They just feel really sturdy. I think they feel better than CGC. I'm just being honest. I like that their logo and their label is kind of subdued and kind of shows off more of the book than this big white square with a grate on it. I don't really care about the... You can get CGC, you can get like special labels that would have like X-Men and stuff on there, but to me it looks kind of like clip art and it just kind of looks goofy. I'm in the minority on that. I don't care. I'm just being honest. I prefer CBCS. I love the way these look. I'm not trying to sell you on them. I'm just saying, for my money, cool. If you're trying to sell these on eBay, you will get more for CGC. There's no two ways about it. It's not a deal breaker for some people. A very common thing to do is to buy the CBCS, crack them open, have them clean pressed, and send them to CGC. And sometimes you get a grade bump, sometimes you don't. If that's what you want to do, fine. I think they look great like this. I think they display very, very nicely. But yeah, 3.0. Let's talk about the book. This came out January 1965. First meeting of X-Men and the Avengers. Avengers and X-Men cover and battle issue. First appearance of Lucifer. It also has a Marvel Girl pinup in it. So Jean Grey's got a thing on the last page, like a picture that people cut out on their wall. It's in this one. Awesome. I mean, there's a lot of speculation right now of X-Men joining the MCU. How would they do that? Would it have anything to do with the Avengers? If it does, this could be a big book because this is the first time they ever met. So, pretty cool. I like it. I mean, pretty neat to have, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, everybody on the cover fighting, all the X-Men, and then this Lucifer dude that just shows up here. Who knows? Maybe they'll make Lucifer a big dude in the MCU one day and have X-Men and Avengers meet, and this comic could skyrocket. But mine won't because it's just a 3.0, but I'm still happy with it. Very happy. So CBCS, check them out. It's really cool. They got free grader notes too, so... things like that make this company pretty cool. It's part of Beckett, if you know of sports trading, sports cards and stuff. Beckett, this is their comic book company. So happy to have them. I don't discriminate. I like both companies. And speaking of CBCS, another one, number 10. Yeah, another CBCS. This one's 4.0. This is from January, February, March 1965. So all these books are pretty old at this point. Really, really cool book. It's first appearance of Kazar. So they say first Silver Age appearance. What that means is he was actually in novel form. He was in books. But there was a guy named Kazar that did the same stuff. But as far as comic books, making him a comic book character, this is first appearance. It's also the first appearance of the Savage Land, which got me into comic books was or X-Men was number 116, which takes place in a Savage Land. So it comes full circle with this book. This is the first appearance of that place. Savage Land has a huge part to do with X-Men lore. Kazar, not so much. I mean, he's in some of the books. It's also the first appearance of Zabu, the Saber-Tooth Tiger, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's also got the thing on the cover. Yeah, the MMMS wants you. So, yeah, pretty neat. I don't know what else to say about it. I wish it was a higher grade. It kind of appears to like it should be a higher grade, but I don't know. There's a lot of spine stuff over here, so but still displays really nice. Really happy. So anyway, that's my graded books, number 1 through 10. If people like this, I might make some more. Show off some more of my books. Really happy to have them. Everybody that's helped me get this collection and put up with my antics and crap to get it. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.